Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and ohio everybody. What is going on? It is Galeriot here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi video, and today we're going to be going into Danmachi Battle Chronicle, and I'm going to be giving you guys 5 things I want to see from the new game that's going to be coming up in about 3 to 4 months time. Now, I know that we're 2 months away from the closed beta test, and probably another month or two after that we're going to be getting the gacha game, but I wanted to get ahead of myself a little bit and start talking about the game a little bit more, start generating the hype a little bit, and start generating some communication, some talk about the game. But I also wanted to do, kind of vent out my desires for the game and my concerns for the game. So in this video, I'm going to be going over my desires from the game. I'm going to be going over things I want to see from the upcoming game, and then in a video that'll come out in about 2 to 3 days time, I'm going to go over stuff that I am going to be concerned about, things I'm a bit stressed about and a bit worried about. Well, stress is a little bit of an exaggeration. I'm not stressed about the new game, to be quite honest. I'm gonna play it either way, to be quite honest, but I'm gonna vent out some concerns that I have, some worries that I have about the game that's gonna be coming up, and some things you should look out for as well when it comes to the new gacha game that's from the Danmachi IP. Now, of course, the best way to, be notified as to when those videos go out and when, any of my videos go out is to hit that subscribe button. Of course, nearly 70% of you guys are not subscribed. Come on, guys, we're so close to 1,000 subscribers. Let's try and hit 1,000 before Danmachi Battle Chronicle comes out. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and of course, comment down below your own thoughts and your own wishes from the upcoming gacha game. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say down below in the comments. Now, 5 things I want to see. Let's start off with number 1. And number 1 is something I've been talking about consistently when it comes to Danmachi Battle Chronicle, and that's good gameplay. And when I mean good gameplay, good controls, good maneuverability, smooth experiences when it comes to actually using our characters. Now, one of the biggest issues I've had with any Japanese gacha game that's an ARPG is that the clunkiness is ridiculous when it comes to the controls. It is so clunky. You play SAO Variant Showdown, you play SAO Integral Factor, you play Naruto Ultimate Ninja Voltage, you play any other Japanese ARPG gacha game, and it's more or less very clunky. I will say there are a few that are nice to play, such as Bleach Brave Souls. They're okay to nice to play, but they don't compare at all to the ARPG experiences that the Chinese developers have given us. Games like Honkai Impact, games like PGR, these games are a level above, and I would say they are way clearer. Honestly, they're so enjoyable. They're on a different level. They're very enjoyable. Now, obviously, when it comes to Danmachi Battle Chronicle, this game is developed by Aiming Inc. alongside K-Lab, which is already a very positive thing in my opinion. I mean, we obviously haven't had a complete gameplay string revealed to us yet by the developers, but in all honesty, the fact that we've got K-Lab, and from the footage that we've seen very little amounts of, seems to indicate that there is going to be a smoother experience compared to the average gacha game. That being said, it doesn't change the fact that I am a little bit concerned, but what I'm hoping for is a very smooth experience from the upcoming game, and that is one of my desires. Just make it a very smooth experience, make it a very fun experience, and that's all that matters. Of course, there are some other things that I want to see be added to it, such as, the implementation of combos, implementation of, chaining your attacks properly, and leading to different sort of like maneuvers and stuff like that. I think that would be amazing. But right now, my biggest desire is to ensure and hope for a smooth gameplay experience that's actually fun to play, rather than just agitating and annoying, because the amount of times I've played other gacha games, like I said, SAO Integral Factor, SAO Variant Showdown, Ninja Voltage, you name it, and these games are just so clunky and just unfun to play. Like another game that I want to talk about, actually, it was one of the Tales of Gachas. I don't remember the name of it. I think Tales of Luminara. It was a very recent gacha game, and it shut down within a year basically because the controls were just horrendous. Nobody enjoyed playing that game, and they had to come back a few months later and fix it, but by then the damage was dealt. first impressions matter a lot, and if your gameplay isn't fun to play, that can be damning even, I would say. So that's my first major hope, is that the gameplay is smooth, the gameplay is fun, and it's an enjoyable experience. So that's number one. Number two, and I'm looking down because I'm actually got my notes here, funnily enough. I've made a notes of 5 things I want to see. So the second thing I want to see is a pity system. Now this is more so to the gacha related side, and this is where actually another concern starts to pop up a little bit, because while a lot of recent gacha games have had pities be added to them or have had pities from launch, you have games like Genshin, which in my opinion has the best pity system, to be quite honest. A lot of people would say it doesn't have a really good pity system. In my opinion, it genuinely does have one of the best pity systems, because the pity carries over from banner to banner. There's a soft pity. You get, the only issue with the pity system is that there is a 50-50, but even then you're guaranteed the unit afterwards. Like if you lose the 50-50, you're guaranteed the unit anyway. So that's the only real L, is that it doesn't just guarantee you the new unit straight up. It's a 50-50. But then you see games like FGO, they've added a pity system after 5 to 6 years, And then you have games like Legends, who've also added a pity in recent years. Then you've got games that had a pity system from the get-go, Games like Precon and stuff like that. Danmachi Memoria Freese has a pity system in a way with the 14710 system. But then there are games that don't have a pity system. For example, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Dokkan Battle is a case in point where they think they've added a pity system, but it's not a pity system, because the new unit that comes out on a banner, you can't pity it when they first come out. You have to wait when they come out the second time in another future banner to be able to then pity them then. So it's not really a true pity system. It's a very fake pity system. And then you have a game like Bleach Brave Souls, where they don't have a pity system whatsoever. So that is a concern, because you have K-Lab as a co-developer to Aiming Inc., and they have some influence on the monetization side of things. They have some influence in how the game will be executed. And if they say you don't need a pity system, we're fine with a pity system, without a pity system on Bleach Brave Souls, don't need to add it here, and Aiming Inc. will be like, well, that makes us more money because people will summon more. But that's not really the case, in my personal opinion. I think a pity system is actually a cause for people to spend more on the game, because you're there like, oh, I can get this new unit within like 10 multis. Why not spend a little bit of money and buy the currency I need to be able to do 10 multis? So in my personal opinion, I think they need to add a pity system, because it'll be good for them and good for the player base, in my personal opinion. So that is something that's very, very important, and it's something that's common across modern gachas in general. So them not adding it will be a cardinal sin, in my personal opinion. That will be a huge L, and it's something that I hope that they do, because we desperately do need a pity system, especially considering we don't exactly know what's going to be in the gacha system. Remember, when they announced in their whole sort of like report and press news, I should say, when they announced it in their press news, they said that we could use adventures, assists, and scene cards. Now, we don't know what's going to be in the gacha. It could be like Danmachi Memoria Freese, where it's only adventures and assists, but we don't know where you can get scene cards from. So there has to be a good pity system if it's all 3 in the gacha, or even 2 of them in the gacha, So that's something to bear in mind. And the best way they can do it, in all honesty, is either make it like Danmachi Memoria Freeze, where it's a 14710 step, or you could do something like Genshin, where it's a 9 multis for 50-50 and so on and so forth, and it's 2 banners, 1 adventure, 1 assist. Or alternatively, at every 5 multis, so like every 5 multis, it's a scene card guaranteed. Every 10 multis, it's an assist guaranteed. And then every 15 multis, it's an adventure guaranteed, or something along those lines. Now, I don't know exactly how they're going to do it, or if they're going to have scene cards in the gacha or whatever. But that's how I would probably consider incorporating it, if they really want to incorporate, all 3 adventures, assists, and scene cards into the gacha system. So that's number 2. Number 3, skill-based gameplay. Now, this kind of connects to point 1 and what I mentioned at the end of point 1 in regards to chaining and comboing. that is definitely a factor. But I think more importantly, while we are going to be getting different game modes in this game, we already know 2 game modes in the game, one being a battle royale, which I don't know how that's going to work, and number 2 being an auto battle system. We don't really know where we're going to be able to use our characters manually properly, because I don't know how they're going to work on the battle royale system. I have no idea if it's going to be like the auto battle system, or it's going to be like player versus player or whatever. And of course the auto battle system indicates that we won't be able to use our characters. But in situations where we can use our characters, is there going to be challenging content to the point where it's going to be fun to start learning how the iframes work of characters, how timing your skills properly works, debuffing the enemy, buffing yourself, stuff like that. That's going to be something that's going to be very, very important, because in all honesty, while simple gameplay is nice, I'm all for simple gameplay, to be quite honest. There's a reason why I love Genshin. I know a lot of players who play Genshin want good endgame content and stuff like that, but Genshin's a very casual game and it's a very simple game and it works for it, and in my personal opinion, I'm down for it. But there are times that I do want something like Honkai, where it's a little bit more complex, a little bit more challenging, and it requires a little bit of intuitiveness, and it requires a little bit of skill as well, and in certain fights I wouldn't mind that, right? For example, if we get a version of Wreck-It Buster in Danmachi Battle Chronicle, I don't want it to be auto battle. No, I want to be actually there taking down Riveria or Gareth or Finn or Otarl or whoever it is, and it being a challenge, me having to technically use my mindset to deal as much damage as possible. Say you're given 4 minutes in the battlefield, deal as much damage as possible to a Otarl, and then at every 1 minute he removes your buffs, or at every 1 minute he removes his own debuffs or something like that, and you have to counter that, and he does a DPS check or something like that. Similar to Dragalia Lost, even, I would say. Very similar to Dragalia Lost, but a little bit, I would say, less repetitive, I would say, in comparison. I think Dragalia Lost is a great example of the way they handle the challenging content step by step and the way they did it. I think they did it a great way. So I'm hoping if they do something like that, it would be brilliant, in all honesty. I think that would be fantastic. So I would say, in all honesty, definitely skill-based gameplay is the number 3 one. Now, I don't know how they're going to do it, be it via introducing combos and chaining into the gameplay experience or the gameplay loop, or making challenging bosses that require you to play the game smarter in terms of planning out your strategy throughout the entire fight. Whatever it may be, it needs to be skill-based for sure. 100%. When it comes to an ARPG experience, you kind of have to do that, in all honesty. The number 4 point is something that I'm kind of hoping gets added, because Danmachi Memoria Freese, while it has added co-op and guilds and stuff like that to the gameplay experience, I want a true co-op experience. Let me go into the dungeon, let me go into fights with my friends, let me do co-op fights live on stream. I would love to host like live stream mornings where I'm like playing Danmachi Battle Chronicle and I'm farming materials with my mates or viewers or stuff like that. It would be such a fun experience, and I would be very much looking forward to it. So that's number 4 in my personal opinion. I don't really need to add too much more on top of that. Co-op fights is something that needs to happen, in all honesty. I think that's a number 4 point I want to definitely stick with no matter what. Even if things change in the upcoming months, like maybe they announce something that, and says, oh, a pity system is definitely not happening, I would be like, that's a bit of an L, but whatever, kind of. Well, actually, it wouldn't be a whatever moment, but it would be definitely a big L. But like co-op fights, in my personal opinion, you've got 3D models, you can connect to players and stuff like that. Make it like Bleach Brave Souls co-op. I would love if it was like Bleach Brave Souls co-op. Have a room set up and everything. You can invite friends and you can farm resources and stuff like that. It would be amazing, in my personal opinion. It would be amazing. Now, the 5th point is a little bit of a weird one, because I don't know if it would spell the end of DANMEMO, but I do want to see it in Danmachi Battle Chronicle nonetheless. And I want to see similar events in Danmachi Battle Chronicle. Like, let us experience Argonaut in 3D. Let us experience Vesta in 3D. I would love to see that sort of stuff, be implemented into the game. Now, I don't know exactly how hard it is to, do those 3D modelings and renderings and how long it takes, because it could take a span of time to, do all of that rigging and stuff like that. setting up the 3D model rigs and everything, and you know, making it work in the game, right? And how long it takes, because at least for DANMEMO, it's a very simple thing. You make the backgrounds, you put the character portraits on screen, the text is there, and boom, you're good to go. It's a visual novel experience, right? Whereas Danmachi Battle Chronicle, especially from the trailer that we've seen, makes it seem like it's going to be a fully fledged 3D battle experience, 3D animation. We're going to be able to experience the main Danmachi story from season 1 to 4 in 3D. So obviously it's going to be something completely broader and, you know, much more bigger in terms of the experience, I would say. So it's going to be harder to do similar events to DANMEMO, at least at the pace that DANMEMO does it, because DANMEMO does it every 3 weeks. We get a new story basically. Well, technically every 4 weeks more so nowadays, but it's every 4 weeks we get a new story or something along those lines. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Danmachi Battle Chronicle can do it. But this is a lower one, because I'd like DANMEMO to be its own thing, where it's the story driven stuff, whereas Battle Chronicle is more of the battle based stuff. You know, let us experience more battle based content, let us, you know, battle players and stuff like that. I think Danmachi Battle Chronicle needs to take care of the battle side of things and the more combat focused stuff, whereas DANMEMO is the more lore, story-based, story-driven stuff. That being said, I wouldn't mind seeing some of the story-based stuff in Danmachi Battle Chronicle nonetheless. So there you guys have it. Those are the 5 things I want to see in Danmachi Battle Chronicle. Let me know what you guys want to see down below in the comments as well. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say down below. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching these videos. It's truly appreciated. Like I said, we're so close to 1,000 subscribers. It would be amazing if you hit that subscribe button. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy, everybody. Bye bye.